This video demonstrates the vibratory motor rebuild using the BTI-305341 vibratory motor rebuild kit. First step is the removal of the motor side end cap. This part is typically removed before removing the vibratory motor from the machine workhead basket. Ensure shaft adapter is not misplaced. Discard all hardware and shims as they will be replaced with the hardware kit. Typically, the bearings are seized to the shaft. Tap the end of the shaft with a hammer to break bearings loose from the side plate. Bearings are held into side plate sub-assemblies by bearing shields. Bearing races will remain pressed into the side plates and will be removed later. Place eccentric weight in vise. Remove 5/16 clamping bolt and heat the set screw to break loose Loctite. If pressing on the pin side of shaft, thread in a 3/8 16 UNC bolt to press the shaft out of the bearings. Do not press on pins. Press bearing race from each side plate. First step is to press the new bearing races into side plates. On the non-motor side plate, use end cap to press race into side plate from outside in. Boss on end cap will set initial bearing race depth. Proper bearing end play will be set later. On the motor side plate, press the new bearing race from inside out into side plate until the race is fully seated onto the boss, located inside the bore. Note the bearing race direction. The cup opens to the inside of the vibratory motor. Before assembly, inspect shaft clean and sand as necessary to allow bearings to have a close slip fit onto shaft. Align set screw notch on shaft with the set screw hole on eccentric weight. Shaft pin direction is up to the choice of the mechanic. Measure 1 5/16 from end of shaft to side of eccentric weight as shown. To center the shaft on the eccentric weight, add 5/16 18 UNC clamping bolt and lock nut. Use red Loctite and torque to 13 foot-pounds. Add 3/8 24 UNF set screw and use red Loctite. Add one shaft collar to each side of eccentric weight. Fully pack bearings and wipe excess grease from outside. Bearings are not supposed to be 100% packed. Use BTI approved polyurea or aluminum complex greases. Do not mix grease types. Evenly tap on one grease shield per side plate until it is fully seated onto the bearing. Note the grease shield cups toward the bearing. Insert eccentric shaft into bearing located in side plate. Start with either side. Ensure pins on the shaft are used on the motor side plate, which has the bearing fully seated to the boss. Bearings should slip onto shaft. If not, lightly tap side plate with hammer until side plates and center section fully seat. If bearings do not slip onto shaft, further sand shaft with emery cloth. Insert new 1/2-inch hardware from the rebuild kit. Use red Loctite and torque to 80 to 90 foot-pounds. Next starts the shimming process. The rebuild kit contains new 3/8 hardware and 5 of each size shim, 3/1000, 5/1000, and 10/1000 thick shims. Do not lock tight 3/8 hardware until final assembly. Bolt on non-motor side end cap to non-motor side plate and torque hardware to 30 to 35 foot-pounds to set bearing race. Tap inner bearing on motor side to seat all components on non-motor side. Inserting shaft adapter. This tool that is being applied now is not needed. A 3/8 16 UNC hex bolt bottomed out in the shaft threaded hole may be used to measure the end play with a dial indicator that is supplied with the rebuild kit. Measure end play by pulling in and out on the bolt or tool. You can rotate the bearings to help fully seat and ensure a proper end play reading. This is an initial reading and will be shimmed to the proper 2 to 4 thousandths end play. After shim is installed, Reinstall end cap with 3/8 hardware without Loctite and torque to 30 to 35 foot-pounds. Rechecked end play to verify end play is within 2 to 4 thousandths. Repeat step if end play is not in spec. Once proper end play is achieved, loosen 3/8 hardware, apply red Loctite, and re-torque to 30 to 35 foot-pounds. Loctite will not be applied to motor side end cap, but will be applied after vibratory motor is installed into the machine workhead basket. Note, orientation of grease zerks on end caps point upward. This concludes the vibratory motor rebuild using the BTI-305441 vibratory motor rebuild kit.